It's a relationship that nobody would have thought possible, but the partnership between Dot and Jim has become one of the finest around.
They enjoy each other's company. Madame?
Oh, hey, I don't mind if I do.
It's fiery.
Jim!
In a way, it's secure, it's safe.
They're very funny.
Oh, I say.
They do genuinely care about each other. He loves her.
Well, you're my girl, aren't you?
And this relationship was recognised earlier this year at the British Soap Awards when June Brown and John Barden, who played the couple, won Best On-Screen Partnership.
We didn't think we were going to, because we had won it before.
I didn't think we won it this year because the little lad with the dog was up for it.
There was a dog called Schmeichel from Coronation Street was sitting right next to us in the aisle, and I could just hear John saying, "The dog's won it. He's won it, he has, because he's here. They won't bring the dog here if he hadn't won it."
And the winners are...
June Brown and John Barden.
It's just fantastic because the people vote for that.
Are you supposed to be over there?
He's chatting to me, June.
All right. Well, you're supposed to be with me. You're supposed to be my partner. Oh, my God. You can speak first, because you know I don't say very much.
That warmth, that support from the general public, from the audience, from their fellow actors, it was just remarkable and deservedly so.
It's just a great honour to work with this lady, I tell you.
Here he goes.
How can you not do it right when you're working with her?
The audience or people thought that we'd rehearsed what we did when we went up to accept it, but we hadn't.
But Dot and Jim's past romantic encounters weren't as fulfilling. Dot's first husband, Charlie, was very different.
Hello, Dot.
Charlie. He was an absolute rascal. I mean, he stole from Dot, he lived with our half-sister, he married someone else while he was still married to her.
That can't be your husband.
It is.
It can't be. It's Tommy. It's my husband.
And Jim had been unhappily married to Renee.
They were always having rows. There's nothing there at all.
There was a scene once in the cemetery. It was Dot who persuaded him to go to the cemetery, to his wife's grave.
I never really loved her, you know, Dorothy. Never came close. Be quite honest with you. I hated the old cow.
We'll be off.
Cupid had his work cut out bringing these two together.
Well, the reason Jim hung around Dorothy was she was on her own, he was on his own, and he just thought he had free lunch here, so he jumped in. I was wondering if you'd do the honour of accompanying me on a little outing one evening next week. We could go down that little pub down by the river and have a drink, then go for a stroll along the towpath in the moonlight.
No, go away.
But Jim wasn't going to give up that easily.
We were all in the Vic, and there was a wartime unexploded bomb had been found in the area. Dot, you know, she always gets a touch of the vapours, and she fainted, and of course this was the ideal opportunity for Jim to get a bit closer.
Oh, look, get out of the way.
What are you doing?
I'm giving her the kiss of life.
Can't you see she's breathing?
Well, it's better to be safe than sorry, isn't it?
Well, get off. What do you think you're doing?
I'm only saving your life, that's all.
How dare you?
Romance obviously started to blossom straight from there, I should think.
Sorry.
He kind of stalked her, if you like.
I think she was really quite frightened by it.
Dorothy, please! Dorothy!
Dot really was the object of his desires.
I think she knew how to handle it, really.
How dare you?
No chance of a cup of cocoa, then?
I don't think Dot had any intention of getting involved with Jim.
If I wanted a companion, which I don't, I could do a lot better than a lecherous old goat like you. And a gambler to boot.
He likes lying around and drinking and watching the races and the football and betting and heaven knows what. Quite the wrong person for Dot.
How could Dot resist such a desirable man?
He's always got the racing post in his hand and a pint of ale, and that's Jim.
Whereas Dot had a very different approach to life.
I'll have a tomato juice, please, Peggy.
She has a orange juice or a tomato juice or whatever it is she has, and she has a glass of sherry now and again.
I don't think she thinks that is alcohol, sweet sherry.
Oh, what, is it a sherry then, is it?
Medicinal purposes, of course.
Dot's religion is very important to her. I mean, it is the basis of her life. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I will repay.
Thou shalt not blaspheme. Numbers, chapter 32, verse 23.
However, they do say opposites attract.
I think really what did make her warm to Jim and look at him in a different light was the death of Ashley.
Ashley's me! It's Grandma!
You know, it left a great hole, and he was very kind at the time.
You all right, Dorothy?
He had that wonderful line when she went a bit doolally-tap and was taken off in the ambulance.
How am I going?
Off to see the wizard, Dorothy.
I think that was when she was at her most vulnerable, and that is probably when she let down her defences. I think she likes the support that Jim gives her, and that she can more or less rely on him. Not a frightfully honest person. She knows that, and she knows when he's not telling the truth.
Am I forgiven then?
Yes, you are, but only because the Bible says so. If you forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Matthew chapter 6, verse 14. Otherwise you wouldn't stand a cat's chance.
Thank the Lord we're Christians. That means the world to me. I'll buy you a drink tonight to prove it.
If you must.
I think she liked being the centre of attention. I think she always does. And he spoilt her.
How about if I take you to the cinema tonight? My treat.
Jim's really proved himself to be, you know, what Dot needs, really. Bit of a laugh at times, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy at heart.
Looking as wonderful as ever, I see.
Pubs opened early, have they?
I haven't touched a drop.
He liked that strong lady. And a real lady, because Jim's a gentleman as well. It's a lady and it's a gentleman, and he opens the door and, you know, she cooks, and it's quite old-fashioned and it's lovely. Jim never kind of embarrassed her in a way that she had been embarrassed before.
It had been a turbulent start for Dot and Jim, so EastEnders Revealed calls up with the actors who play the couple to see how they get on.
Oh, yeah.
You're not having any lunch.
Nice breakfast, nice fry up before I come out.
And they're just hilarious. They never argue, they never bicker. It's just the way they are, and everyone knows it.
Is that your only vegetable?
I can get some broccoli for you, or some shredded cabbage.
Shredded cabbage?
Yeah, I'll bring it over to you.
They are really suited to each other. I mean, it's just remarkable, in spite of whatever difficulty that they might have with the line or anything at all, how some of they still support each other.
Would you speak up, dear? You're doing your mumble.
Am I? I'm sorry, darling.
And you don't like mumble, do you?
No, I don't. Not
We
at
don't
all,
like
no.
mumble.
No, we do proper projection. We do, me and Joan do.
You can sit there all day and watch them, but they get on. They muck about, you know. The pair of them are so different, yet so funny together. That's why it works.
What do I say if I can't hear? I blame myself. I say, I'm terribly sorry. Could you speak up a little, because I'm slightly deaf?
Well, so am I.
That isn't the point. We've only got one scene today, haven't we?
Yeah. It's about you going off to do your driving test, listening to the whale music.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Well,
Pam's in it.
I shall have to have a look at it.
Even offset, they seem like a married couple, but in real life, John is married to Enda.
We all get on very well together. I went over to have a holiday with them in their apartment abroad, and that was lovely.
Her and my wife stayed up late talking, and I think they had a good time.
I love Enda. She's a very warm, friendly person.
But does Enda think John is anything like Jim?
She thinks I am. I'm a miserable sod. I moan and groan all the time. I walk about in my vest. Scratch myself a lot. Right now. So the best person to ask is my wife, and she ain't here, so I'm going to say I'm nothing like him at all.
And is Ender anything like Dot?
Oh, come on. How different is Dorothy from my real wife? Miles apart they are, miles apart.
Back on the square, the relationship between Dot and Jim was about to take another step.
Well, Jim's from that generation of people that if you're caught in someone, the ultimate end result is to get married.
He had to have 2 attempts at asking her to marry him. Get up off your knees.
I'm trying. I want to say something to you. Look, Dorothy, look, I want to say something to you.
He took her quite by surprise.
Dorothy, will you marry me?
She wasn't expecting anything like that. So I suppose she had to have a little gap of time.
But it wasn't long before Jim tried again.
When Jim proposed to Dot, I thought it was just so lovely.
Dorothy, will you marry me?
And June's face, when she just turned away with that gentle smile, it just warmed your heart.
But I think she was quite touched because he can, apart from being quite raucous, be quite tender at times.
Then came the question of the engagement ring.
Dorothy, will you do me the very great honour of pulling my cracker?
If it'll make you happy.
It will, and I'm sure you're going to find something very special in there.
Oh, Jamie, that's so romantic. The ring popped out of the cracker, and Sonia thought it was for her. Oh, look, Granddad.
Yeah, well, that's not meant for you.
And who's it for?
It's for you. I wanted to make it official.
But obviously, everyone got a little bit tangled up.
Congratulations, Dot.
Yeah, congratulations.
We're gonna get married. We're gonna get married. We're gonna get married, you and me. We're gonna get married. We're gonna get married.
It was a lovely wedding, nice reception, and then a lovely hotel, which Dot nearly chickened out of. You go on up.
Oh, what, open the bubbly and all that, eh? Yeah, good idea. Don't you be long.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung, bells to be rung, and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I'm gonna feel the way I do today, 'cause you make me feel so young.
Dorothy. Dot was very apprehensive about actually getting into bed with Jim because that was the first time. Come on, look. Flowers, soft lights, music, champagne. 'Tis our wedding night.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't. I know I should have said something before, but I couldn't.
She probably saw that double bed and thought, no, I can't. And then she probably thought about undressing and revealing herself.
You're shaking.
You hate me now, don't you?
I don't hate you, you silly sausage. I love you.
What?
I love you.
You're just saying that.
Look, I'm knocking on 70 years old here. Do you realise how lucky I am to find someone like you, eh? I mean, it's been a long time for me and all, you know. To be quite honest with you, I was as worried as you were.
The fact that Jim accepted Dot to have problems in that area and said, well, it doesn't bother me, I just think it's very, very sweet.
I want to be held.
Hey?
I want somebody to hold me.
Are the stars out tonight? I don't know if it's cloudy or bright.
He just knew he'd found his soulmate, like, you know, which he hadn't done before.
For you, dear.
Mr. and Mrs. Branning settled into married life.
Nobody has a fry-up like my Dorothy.
But Jim was never going to be the perfect husband.
Well, then, of course, there was the saga of the beds, wasn't there?
I mean, some people, they like extra thick curtains. Other people, they like having the wireless on all night. Myself, I can't abide a double bed, not with someone else. I never have and I never will.
She didn't like the idea of sleeping with a man because she hadn't slept with anybody for years.
You'll have to get rid of that double bed and get singles.
You're having me on, aren't you?
Oh, certainly ain't.
We're a married couple.
Yes, I'm perfectly aware of that. And if you want to remain like it, you'll have to do what I ask.
So I think she would actually have liked single rooms, but she would compromise with single beds.
So they get bunk beds, which is absolutely hilarious.
In order to placate her, Jim decided to saw the beds into two.
It's more in the style of what the Japanese call a futon.
A futon? What's this?
Oh, it's just a temporary measure.
It's my holy Bible. It is the most precious thing that I possess, and you're using it to prop up a bed.
It's just for the time being.
It's dented. Oh, it goes all the way through to Leviticus.
Jim still kept making a mess of things.
I remember there was sort of one occasion when Patrick was over at Jim's place, and one of the few occasions when Jim decided to do the housework.
Make sure you get all the paper out. Hey?
You're going to try this, you know, brother. It's homemade.
Oh, right, yeah, stick it down there. Wait. Now, look, put that under it. I've just polished that, for God's sake. Right, that's it.
The only way that Patrick thinks that he can get him out of that is to his son being a doctor, and why not? If he can revive a human being, why can't he revive a bird which is a lot smaller?
What do you think, Doc? Can you save him?
I'm afraid he's gone.
He can't be.
I'm sorry.
Jim got her another one, but so she sussed it was the wrong one, but she put up with it.
And that wasn't the only bird that got Jim into trouble.
Yes, there was another woman called Doris who was at a Keep Fit class.
Do you come here every week?
Oh, never miss it.
So while Dot was away visiting her sister, Doris made a play for Jim's affections.
I would describe Doris as a woman of the world. Quite the opposite to Dot. She wants something, she's going to get it.
Hello, Slim. I fancy seeing you here. Is he in? No. Well, I just want to drop this off. I'll only be a minute.
And when men looked after and pampered by a woman, they lap it up.
Oh, Jim, you do look tasty.
Jim always enjoys being at the centre of attention.
My back's giving me jip.
You're tense, that's what it is. I mean, look at you all lunched up.
She was a bit flighty, she was trying a bit hard. Frightened the life out of him, I think.
Jim, we could be so much more than just friends. Well, you know that, don't you?
Dot came back to find that this Doris was making up to Jim. And I think she was quite upset about that.
It's not like you think.
And what do I think?
Well, to start off with, she's medically trained, and she's done first aid.
I wouldn't say what my eyes lit on was first aid.
I remember having a big row with her and telling her she was a cuckoo in the nest.
Me and that man made a sacred bond before God. And unless you propose to take on both me and the Almighty, I suggest that you sling your hook. Now, if you don't mind, I want to be with my husband.
Jim and Dot may have their ups and downs and they're funny, but I think Jim's always been there for Dot.
So when they had to face Dot's worst fear, Jim was there for her.
Whatever it is, it can't be that bad. Was it that letter you got from the hospital?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have told you.
Sorry what?
I got cancer.
Jim was there, and you saw what such a strong couple they were and how they get through things, and I think it's so good to see.
I never realised till this very minute.
What?
You love me, don't you?
It's a daft thing to say, isn't it?
Well, I thought we were just two people, getting on a bit, who didn't want to be on their own. But it's more than that.
Of course there's more than that.
I love you, you dozing mare.
I think Jim always wants to protect Dot, no matter where he is, what he's doing. And that's love, isn't it?
I love you, Jim Browning.
Then please don't leave me on my own.
He got the hump a bit when she didn't tell him about having the cancer.
You can count on me, Dorothy.
He's quite supportive of her sometimes.
I've got you these.
Oh, Jim. Oh, they're my favourite colours. Fancy you remembering.
And I've got you this because I want you to look your best around the hospital, like, you know.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
When Dot had to go into hospital, Pauline saw then how genuinely caring Jim was for Dot and what a state he was in, you know, because he obviously loves and cherishes her and he didn't want to lose Dorothy, as he calls her. I thought it was very moving.
I think much useful I can do while she's under. What's it though, is it? Hey. Cup of cocoa and a kip, Dorothy said. Please, let her be all right. She's all right. He said, "Oh, Dorothy's all right." Jim.
I think it probably did bring them closer, but I think people say that, don't they, that people who come close to death, you know, that it often changes the way they live their lives afterwards.
Dot was a fighter, and it wasn't long before they were back to their old ways.
Dorothy driving.
You did say that you was thinking of me when you handed over all our money.
Yeah, I did, but I was going to
Yes, well, in that case, I'll do it. I'll learn to drive.
Dot's driving was quite something.
Dot's driving was horrendous.
I was allowed to do my own driving, which I found great fun. It's quite hard, if you can drive yourself, to drive as if you can't.
I think he was too pleased about her wanting to drive.
Let's turn the engine off and practice a few gear changes.
Oi, let's have your hands where we can see them.
You're just getting a feel for things.
Yes, I bet you are, yeah.
Go away.
Oi!
You're wasting me money with these interruptions. Now, where was we?
Mr. Rawlins was coming on a bit strong, wasn't it?
I think Jim was jealous of Dot's driving instructor because he was encouraging to Dot about driving, and Jim wasn't fast and didn't want her to drive.
You make it all so easy, Michael.
With you, Dorothy, it is.
He had to put up with him because he was teaching her to drive, as opposed to him having to do it.
Is there anything else that you'd like me to practice for you? Well, I could do your three-point turn.
I think it's time we admitted to each other what's really going on here, Dorothy.
She didn't know what he was getting at. She just thought he was a lovely, charming man with good manners.
Oh, Dorothy.
I'm a married woman.
Dorothy, listen to me. Dorothy, listen to me.
No. I thought you was a gentleman.
I thought you felt the same.
I most certainly do not.
Off-set, June and John are getting ready for their latest scene, which sees Dot trying to calm her nerves before her second driving test.
We go through it several times until we feel we know what we're doing.
So it's supposed to be very restful. Combat me. What is it? It doesn't make sense.
Combat me in a rage.
It doesn't make sense. I must have said the other one wrong.
Combat me in a rage.
Yeah, well, that is, but what's the first bit? Can't be bothered to look at
what
it.
on earth? You don't say anything yet? You haven't said anything
No,
yet?
well, the
That's your
first line
bit.
of that bit.
It's meant to be restful.
That's all.
With a quick run-through done, it's time to go on set.
Where's me cardigan?
Well, she bosses everybody about.
Can we get June's cardi out, please, from Ellie?
I mean this nicely. I don't mean this in any unkind way at all. So it's quite funny, actually, because you see the directors just stand back like that and they wait until she's organised everything. Right, now we'll start.
Don't you think Dot would be in the dark with the door shut? Can't we have the lights down a bit?
Can we have the lights down?
What's all this fancy camera work going on? I'm very nitpicky and I do go at things. I'm always on about the truth and whether this and that and shouldn't we do this and shouldn't we do that. I'm a bossy creature, dear. I think I know it all.
Have we got to wait for this poncing about here first? We've got to wait for a bit of poncing about, have we?
You want poncing on the sofa?
Yes, art, mate, yes.
Count of 5.
Yeah, I thought
You mean
Good job I asked, wasn't it?
establishing the sound of the hump?
Good job I asked.
Okay, let's go by.
John plays a fantastic character. He is a very supportive person to work with, very helpful.
Action.
It's Pat. She's come to wish you good luck with your test.
What on earth's that racket you're listening to?
It's the song of the humpback whale.
And it's death throes, is it?
It's supposed to be restful. Combat me in a rage.
About as restful as someone running their fingernails down a blackboard.
Well, I think it was beginning to take effect.
Look, wouldn't you be better off preparing by doing something practical?
Look, if I look at that highway code once more, I shall go cross-eyed.
Well, sit in Jim's car. You go over a few manoeuvres with him, won't you?
Yeah, of course I will. Yeah, anything's got to be better than this whaling.
June and John make a great team. So what does the future hold for Dot and Jim?
Dot and Jim are well and truly together. I think they will go on forever.
To us.
Oh, I don't think Dot and Jim would ever divorce.
They're soulmates, really.
You're a wonderful woman, you are.
And I think it's fantastic. It's a great relationship.
There's a lot more laughs and stuff with Dot and Jim.
I did have a budgie. Joey was my favourite. Jim murdered him.
I'm sure that Dot and Jim will live happily ever after.
Nose hair.